A gallon of gasoline cost 10 cents, and the Empire State Building was the tallest building in the world. That was also the year that Flintridge Sacred Heart Academy began educating young women, and since then, more than 4,000 Tologs have studied on the Hill. Though much has changed in 80 years, a graduate from the 1930s and one from the 21st century still have much in common. Both have gone out into the world armed with a rigorous Flintridge Sacred Heart education, one that's formed by the Dominican principles of faith, integrity, and truth. In this year, our 80th, we celebrate them and the legacy at FSHA, past, present, and future.
One of the great things about Sacred Heart is that you're really challenged to not be a passive receiver, but to be an active participant in your education, and I think that goes entirely into your spiritual growth. I think anyone you would ask would answer this question this way: is the most rewarding thing that you do during your day is things that are philanthropic and things that are for others, and I think that was put into action here first for me.
Even my friends and I were in college, we realized that we learned so much more from this school than what we got academically in the classroom. I think a big component of that was our spiritual formation. And I think the retreat program, it builds up and it leads you to Kairos, which for many people is a life-changing event, and that's where you really get to form and you understand what is your relationship with God and where you want to take that in your life.
I think that in a certain sense, and especially here, you come to an institution like Flintridge and you sort of come and you're like this, and I think that when you leave you're like this. And I think that it's that opportunity and that encouragement and that kind of leadership that you're shown that allows you to explore all those things of yourself. I think you become the best of you.
Having teachers as your coach and as your chaperones on retreat, it really is this community sense that when you leave, it's the total dynamic experience you get that makes it memorable.
People here that are still working here that were here when I was here. So, you know, Mrs. Sadler, Mrs. Sauer, is Betsy still working here too, correct, right? It's just amazing to see people don't stick around that long if it's not because it's a good place. And this is a wonderful place.
I can remember vividly sitting in Katie Sadler's history class and having her tell us that she got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to read the paper cover to cover. And I cannot say that I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I can say that every day since then I have read the paper cover to cover. And I just feel so blessed that I had someone who thought that was an important idea.
My graduating class had 100 girls, and I could probably name each of them still to this day. For me, that's a very special thing. When I graduated, we had like 30 in our class graduating, so there's definitely, the numbers have increased, which that's very, that tells you something about the desire for people to want to have their kids here.
My girls are at school down the hill, and I certainly see a path for them that will not fulfill itself until, God willing, 2017. But there's so much about the legacy and the history of this school, and I think that it ties back to the deep commitments that we all make within our class. And some of my very best friends from my days here are my very best friends today.
Without even thinking about it, we're connected. You encourage the girls to keep coming back to visit because it's an important part of staying connected. I've been coming back for, 100 years? I mean, since I graduated in '48, so I've been coming back since.
And as a student, I never realized how fortunate I really was until I started coming back up here as a mom with Lacey, and just to be able to be in this environment every day. it's just, you don't appreciate it until you're back here. You don't appreciate the relationships you have, the friendships that you created, the beautiful environment, setting that we're in tonight.
I think that, so much of this is it's a life journey, and you have the experience of being here. I think that you really look back on that and appreciate it in a greater way as you continue down the path. And when, what I think is so terrific about the school is that people feel very much that they want to come back and they want to lend their gifts that they've developed, over time back to the school. And again, it's all part of what I think is the fiber of Flintridge.